Hello and welcome to the Fulltime Hangout, Arsenal versus Everton. 2-2 result, Marin. Not a great result if you were to look at it before the match started, but at halftime or halftime hangout, things weren't looking very good. Things were looking pretty gloomy. You know, we got 2 late goals and got a good point. What are your thoughts on the match?
You know what? Before you say anything, I just want to get to this. There's a comment I see right here. I think it perfectly sums up the result. I think it says here. I'm not going to read everything, but it says Giroud, he should come off the bench every time. Campbell is on because Earl is great. I wouldn't say he should come off the bench every time, but I think Giroud has more of an impact as a sub. I think he could be a super sub type of player because you saw he got lots more chances. He got they played much more not fluently I would say, but more. They just created more with Giroud at the helm. I don't know if it's I wouldn't say it was all Giroud. I think the team itself played differently, and I think Giroud was a reason for that. But apart from the comment, it was a good result. It was a really good result.
Whoa, let's just stop right here. You were the first thing you say is a compliment to Giroud. The whole time, the whole match, you were screaming his name. What? A quick change of heart or what?
Well, no. Well,
he serious abuse, man.
First and foremost, he is an Arsenal player. Regardless, you're gonna support him because he does put his heart out for the club. He does do all that. So when you see those matches where he just doesn't show up,
he looks disinterested.
Or in a 90-minute match where he's just not up to part of the standard of the club. Exactly, that performance and many other performances from last season. You see that. It's underwhelming and disheartening for fans like us when we want to win big games and such. But when you see I'm gonna support Giroud no matter what. As much as I give him stick and such, he gives his heart up for the club, and that's the most you can ask for in a player. And as much he missed a few clear-cut chances today, some more difficult than others, but he missed a few clear-cut chances that really got me upset and got many fans upset. But thankfully, he saved the point for us in the end. He finally made up for the 4 chances he missed, but he got that one chance to really save us the point.
Great cross from Nacho Monreal. Didn't have a great game, but
him too.
That was a great cross.
Monreal was poor most of the match.
Honestly, I think the substitutions that Wenger made, the double change was great. With Cazorla coming on, I think he was the real difference today.
And finally, Joel Campbell came on, and even though it was a very short time span of 10 minutes. I really think he really sparked something in those 10 minutes. He saw him, he got involved
he was good, but he wasn't out of this world.
But he didn't lose the ball. He was running across the pitch. He came back on defense. He went both ways. He's a rock solid player. He can go at players at will.
Okay.
He is threatening. He's a threat every time he has the ball. He's a threat, and you can tell that one time.
Hyping him, man.
No, he's not hyped. You saw in 10 minutes.
No,
he sparked.
Yeah, he played okay. He played okay, but he wasn't out of this world like you're saying. I'm
not saying out of this world. I'm just saying he was a threat every time he touched the ball.
I thought Cazorla was great coming on. That Aaron Ramsey goal was. Great run from Aaron Ramsey. And you know what? That was a good point. When we were watching the game, you made a good point that Aaron Ramsey and Giroud started at the same point at the top of the box. Giroud kind of stayed there, but Aaron Ramsey had that eye for goal, and he made that run straight to the net. And you know what? He got the goal. But overall, I didn't think Aaron had a great game today. He was misplacing passes, a couple bad touches here and there, and his decision-making wasn't the best. But overall, this morning, if you told me 2-2 draw, I'd be uneasy. We could do better, but where we were in the match, 2-0 down, we showed great resilience coming back, getting it 2-2.
Oh, for sure, especially with how poorly we play. It's the will to fight back. And even at the start of the second half, we weren't that great. And then just as the second half progressed, we were just getting more involved into the match. We were creating more. There was a stat. We were we had most of the possession. We started to get around 62% possession. So we really took control of the match. It's not like Everton eased up and gave it to us. I think Arsenal just took it. I think the boys just took it and just basically snatched the point away from them.
The center back pairing of Mertesacker and Chambers was a little shaky at times. I didn't think our back four had a great game of it. Debussy, he lost the ball a couple times. Sometimes he gets the ball and he doesn't really know where to go with it, and he doesn't have a plan before he gets it, and sometimes that he loses it because of that. But I don't know. That's just growing pains having new teammates. What do you think of the back four?
I think Mertesacker came back at times. Obviously you see his pace may have cost us at one point near the end of the match. But thankfully, his IQ, his intangibles and his IQ was there today. Made smart decisions, smart tackles. Unfortunately, he got in Everton's second goal. That should not have been advantage. That was a foul. But regardless, that was just unlucky on his part, and he's had a very solid tournament to that game.
Yeah. Chambers, there's a little bit of inexperience for that second goal. Maybe he shouldn't have dove in right there at the halfway line. Some more experienced defenders may have laid off a little there, but you saw he's a ball winner, and that he's similar to Shelly in the fact that he's an athlete. He can win the ball, and just overall, it was kind of a weird performance because
you can see the growing pains in him when he makes this poor, not poor decision, but he just makes those errors that maybe he's too anxious, maybe he's too you saw when he wants nothing.
I think sometimes he wants it too much,
exactly.
And too much passion overflowing.
Exactly. We've seen Kashani do that over the years. He's very aggressive playing defense, so he used to cause those fouls, still does, but there's nothing wrong with it. It's just growing pains.
Let's talk about our midfield for a bit. We still need that holding midfield player, and like we saw from Flamini today, sure he won the ball a couple times, but he doesn't have the ability to
push up an attack
that we get kind of from Mikel Arteta. He can't dictate the flow of the game, and we need a player that can take a little bit of Flamini's game and a little bit of Arteta's game and put it together, because the midfield was really poor today, especially in the middle of the park. The connection between the back four and the front three attackers, I thought was
putrid.
Yeah, to be honest, Wilshere didn't have a great game. Ramsey didn't have a great game, and Flamini sideways passes, backwards passes, and I don't understand why we put our best player, Mesut Ozil, on the wing. We got to put our best players in their favorite positions, their best positions, to get the most out of them. Why don't we put Wilshere out wide and put Ozil in the middle? He just looks too disinterested on that wing, and I'll be interested to see if Sanchez was injured at halftime or if that was just a straight swap. Because looking back, it actually wasn't a bad change. Like, it was pretty nice, but instead of I have no problem bringing on Giroud right there, but maybe just take Wilshere off and go a 4-4-2 with Sanchez up top with him.
Or you put Giroud or Sanchez on the flank on the left wing.
Yeah.
Shift Wilshere go to the middle.
Yeah, exactly. So I thought that was a little strange decision, but you know what? Giroud, he's just such an interesting player to watch, and the reaction he gets from certain fans is great. And you know what? He held the ball well today. Coming off a bad performance, he wasn't terrible. Like, he was still a pretty productive player, but
he couldn't be as bad as he was on Tuesday. So
but going up on I think the game's Wednesday at the Emirates. Wednesday, because the last week's game was Tuesday. That match is very, very, very important. And if we don't get Champions League, our hopes of a top signing are basically out the window.
I really think we're gonna just smash Besiktas. It's just the way the momentum we have now. Just that second half performance today. I really don't see Besiktas having a chance at the Emirates. I really don't see as much. I said the same against them. But I just really with the Germans here.
Anything can happen.
When Cazorla finally, he played superb today. Giroud getting a goal to get his confidence and belief back. It's just everything's flowing. Campbell finally got his opportunity. I'm never gonna shut up about Phil Campbell. So it was just great signs before ahead of the match against Besiktas. To the midfield question, it was not the performance I was hoping for. I really thought we would outperform them. Literally the whole match, I was just screaming. Literally, Stephen Naismith was literally the man of the match for me.
Yeah.
I literally thought he was just he's just great. He's not that type of player every week. Arsenal made him look good this week, not gonna lie. But he just looked really great today. And apart from that, I just think it's just a one-time. I think just finding the right partnerships in the midfield and maybe getting that holding midfielder we desire would really spice things up.
Overall, pretty weak performance, to be fair. We got to come out bigger in the big games. Once again, I feel like we're talking about last season all over again. This was a big match going in. We knew the quality that Everton had, and we got off to another slow start. We got a point, not a terrible result, not great, but hey, that happens in a season. We'll drop points here and there, but it's probably a point gained than 2 points lost. Wouldn't you say?
Before the match, that would have been an underwhelming thing to hear. But after seeing how the game played out, of course, it's a point gain. It's 2 points lost for Everton, though. Just how they played so like they set the bar so high in the first half, and then they just got pretty much outplayed in the second half. So it was just not. It was just for Arsenal. It was a great point. Everton, not really. So we'll just get right into the comments now, and. Armadillo Gaming, it's a pretty weird comment, actually, controversial. Is it only me who thinks Ozil had a great game? He played fantastic.
I'm gonna have to disagree there, sir. Unfortunately, he was looking disinterested. But you know what? I don't think he had a bad game. I didn't think he had a bad game, but I just don't think he had a great game. That said, where get some more?
Darko Davidovic. Hopefully I said that properly. I know a little bit Serbian, so. Giroud is a much better player when he's coming from the bench. Yeah, I'll agree with that. Every time I've seen. I remember a few seasons ago he came on as a sub against Newcastle. He scored 2 goals. And
the match where Walcott started.
Yeah, so I think he's got that impact sub. He could have that label if he gets that opportunity more often. Because
go on and sign that Walcott, right?
Exactly. So maybe Giroud is a better student. Maybe. With less pressure, because he didn't play today, so there's no you can't really put criticism on him for how poor we played. So maybe as a sub, as impact sub, you can really just come on, give it his all, and just don't expect any backlash in return.
Got there. There's a good. Right there. There's a formation. Oh, yeah, right there. Formation suggestion 4-3-1-2. Normal back 4, Ramsey, Khedira, Wilshere, Ozil, Sanchez, Giroud. Well, that's a big if with Khedira right there. We could pull that off, but I don't see Wenger switching up his formation for anything, to be fair. Even going into the match today, he seemed pretty stubborn.
Yeah, I'm looking at this lineup, and where's the width, to be honest? There's just no width. I think already enough. People easily can compact Arsenal and just force them to play it and through the middle, because that's all they can do. And with no width basically in this lineup, they just make them even more one-dimensional than they already are.
For comment on what you think Arsenal need going into the match against Besiktas, what you would have changed differently in the match today.
Another beauty comment. This is my kind of guy.
And Campbell's your guy, huh?
Louis Malekini. Sorry I didn't pronounce it. It's Campbell's time. I totally agree with you. I think it is his time. Put him on the pitch. Give him a run against Besiktas on the Wednesday. I really think he'll come up with a big performance. I
got a question for you. How do you think Oxlade-Chamberlain played today?
I think he was in the first half at least, because I think the first half he was probably our most dangerous player going forward at least. He had few. His shots weren't that great, obviously, but he got those chances. He created. His vision wasn't that great. Obviously, little things he could have done better, but he was the most threatening player for us in the first half, for sure.
I think with Chamberlain, that he just needs that, as you said, that final ball, that final delivery, the final shot, because he has everything. He brings energy to the squad. I was happy Wenger brought on Cazorla. I think that was the momentum shift in the match. That he made a goal out of nothing. That ball he played into Ramsey for the first goal is absolutely fantastic. At the halftime hangout, I said how I wanted kind of an Energizer bunny coming onto the pitch, whether it be Cazorla and Rosicky, and I think that really paid off. Going into the next match, I want to see us be more aggressive. I want to see us own that game against Besiktas. Not go in there and play more of a kind of a counter-attacking style we did today. Go out there, get 60% of the ball. Don't even let Besiktas have a sniff at the net, and grab an early goal. If we can get off to a good start, they'll really shake their confidence. Because against Besiktas, the longer the game goes on, if we haven't scored, if they score 1 goal, we need 2. So it's very, very important we get that first goal early.
It's a must, literally a must win. If we tie, we don't go through.
Yeah, and if we need to get that goal early, and maybe get a couple insurance goals, because anything can happen in one match.
For sure. Apart from that, we'll just go to one more comment here, and it's Scarce AX3, who believes that we should drop Wilshere from the team. Every time he comes off, we seem to score, so that means Wilshere slows our play down. Well, you can say the same thing about Giroud, but he came on and he scored a goal. You can say the same thing about a lot of players. You can say the same thing about Flamini. Maybe he makes our passing, he drops the level of our passing. Like, you can say that about any player.
I don't think he slows the team down. I think he, as you said before in the halftime hangout, he's a very good penetrator going towards the net. And the thing about Wilshere, I think, is he's becoming predictable. A lot of people say, and I agree with, Giroud often becomes predictable with the one-touch flick-offs. I think Jack Wilshere is almost just as predictable as Giroud in that they scored a couple nice goals like that, and they feel as if they should go back to that every time. But I think his just decision-making in the final third, that's where he needs to improve on going forward.
Yeah, I'm a big Wilshere supporter. I think ever since I've always been a believer. The worst thing that happened to him was his first season at Arsenal when he won the Young Player of the Season. Just that season he had, it just really set the bar so high for him. And it's going to be difficult for him to top that every single season, especially at the age of 18. He was still a teenager, and to really just keep up those types of performances week in and week out, and just have the expectation of a young star, it was just too much for him. And I guess we're seeing that now he can't really live up to that label, but hopefully he can just string on the potential that we all once hope to see from him.
Summarize today. Slow start, but it's a shame that we couldn't get that goal earlier. I know Giroud had that chance right in the 45th, 46th minute going into the second half. That volley just went over the bar. If he could have put that in, we could have maybe gotten that second goal earlier and then pushed on for the victory. But overall, I'll take that result at halftime. Someone said 2-2. I take that for sure. Good performance. Good performance in the second half. We showed resilience. Comment. Here's what I want you guys to comment. Your formation going into the next match against Besiktas. I'm interested to see in the comments who your primary attackers are with your striker and your three attacking mids. With Ramsey being out, that's also, I think we'll have to see a Wilshere Flamini pivot in there. So I'm interested to see what you guys think as our starting four attackers. It's good to have the Germans back for sure. Any last thoughts, Murray?
Well, we still have a Walcott coming back. That's a pretty important factor in all this. Probably the fastest player in one of the fastest players in the world, one of the most, clinical. Well, I would say clinical, but he creates a lot with his pace. He's a great attacking option. So wait till he gets back, because he's gonna start. There's no way Walcott's not gonna start. He's an important player to this club since he's gotten here. Just start judging the team once he's back full strength, and then start judging whether or not we can win the league. Because I'm seeing some people that us fans are delusional for thinking we can win the league. Hey, Liverpool literally almost won the league last year with a suspect defense and literally relying on two players. So, anything can happen in the Premier League. So just wait and see.
All right, we'll see you guys on Wednesday for the pre-game, halftime, and full-time hangouts for Besiktas. 2-2 result could have been better, but then again, it could also have been worse. Up the Arsenal.